Welcome back guys to another Cyberpunk video and to my new ultimate best weapons list for Cyberpunk 2077, showing you the best weapons when you play Cyberpunk 2077 in the year 2024 or beyond. Of course, weapon lists are often very biased, but I will do my best to be as objective as possible. But of course, there are definitely some weapons or weapon types I definitely don't like as much as you might like them. So forgive me if I don't put your beloved weapons on a higher list in my ranking. Also, don't forget that my ranking is based on the highest difficulty and not every weapon might work as well on that level. On spot number 10, I would put the Yinglong. The Yinglong, of course, is a smart weapon and I particularly don't like smart weapons very much, and that has several reasons. Because smart weapons in general are very weak, because most of the faster shooting smart guns are SMGs and the remaining are mostly pistols and of course the Ashura. But these are often so slow and reloading so often that I would rather kill the enemies with another weapon or just aim by myself. However, the Yinglong in my opinion is the best smart gun in the game because it is not only shooting insanely fast, it is also reloading fast and deals a ton of damage. However, these smart guns still have the bias that most of them are linked to the intelligence tree, so if you really want to get the most out of your smart gun, you probably also have to go for Netrunner or at least having a high skill in intelligence, which would probably mean the same. So smart guns in general are pretty much tied to having a Netrunner character. However, if you have it, then you will have a ton of fun playing with the Yinglong, because the Yinglong will literally obliterate everything by causing so many electric explosions, and it is definitely my recommendation and my personal choice whenever I play either Netrunner or I just want to run around with smart weapons. You can also get the Yinglong quite early because you only have to get the crafting spec, which is located in an organized crime location in Haywood. On place number 9, I put the Agaou. The Agaou is probably one of the craziest and, in my opinion, the best throwing weapon in Cyberpunk 2077. It may not deal the highest impact damage and it may not be silent at all, but the additional electric explosions which are caused when you hit your enemy with a headshot are almost every time killing an entire group of enemies in your location. That means you only have to throw this weapon a single time to clear most of all those NCPD or scanner locations. The only downside of throwing weapons is actually that they are not the best melee weapons and you definitely require cool 15 to get the return perk that all your knives immediately return when you kill your enemies. And then you still have the chance that if you miss your target, your weapon simply won't return. And that makes it not the most practical weapons when you play Cyberpunk 2077, but definitely one of the most fun ones. The Agaou can be obtained from an airdrop when you have the Phantom Liberty add-on. Now it's time to get serious with the Achilles X mod on place number 8. If you like playing with tech weapons, then there is no way around the Achilles X mod 2, because this weapon is a definite beast. If you have the tech perks enabled in your tech tree, just 2 bolt shots will obliterate even the strongest killer robots in Dogtown. Especially if you craft the Wall Puncher mod from the Chimera core and combine that with the Spine Tickler for an additional 50% chance to cause an EMP blast, you will turn this weapon from a good weapon into a crazily good weapon. But even if the charge time of this weapon is quite fast and the bolt timeout is quite generous, tech weapons in general are much more complicated to handle than any other weapon type. And this remains my biggest negative aspect on tech weapons. Even if you master tech weapons to a degree that you obliterate everything, there are still weapons which can absolutely do the same without requiring such difficult handling and timing. The Achilles X mod 2 can also be found in Dogtown. It is located in the opposite building of the pyramid. Just run to the end of the balcony on the left side of this building, where you will see a crack in the wall where you can just squeeze yourself through, and in the room at the end you will find the Achilles X mod 2. On place number 7, I put the DB4 Igla. You guys know that I really love to play and run around with the Sovereign, which is the iconic version of the DB4 Igla, but it actually turned out that the standard DB4 is just so much better. The standard DB4 Igla not only deals a double amount of damage, but it can also shoot every bullet separately, and that is very important, because when you equip additional mods such as the Firecracker, you will literally deal 4 times the damage than with the normal Sovereign iconic weapon. This weapon can kill every enemy just with a single bullet, and you always have 2 of them. In the second mod slot, I would recommend you to equip a Vivisector to increase your dismemberment chance, which will also continuously trigger your adrenaline. The only problem is getting one of these perfect DB4 Iglas with 5++ and 2 mod slots, because you can only purchase the normal tier 5 weapons at the stores, and you have to rely on looting to get a 5++ weapon, and you also have to be very lucky to get it with 2 mod slots. But once you get it, you will absolutely love this weapon. The reload time and the handling of a DB4 Igla with max stats is an absolute dream. On place number 6 we have the Pride. The Pride is definitely the best handgun in the game because it has an insane 400% headshot multiplier. But it also has a really great handling, a great magazine and great reload time, which makes it an overall insanely good weapon. If you equip the Pride with a legendary silencer that always guarantees your critical hits, or if you go for the left cool tree, you will turn this weapon into an absolute one-shot weapon. I always use it with a Kanotsugu optics and with a legendary XC10 Cetus silencer. The only reason I didn't put it higher in the list is basically because it still is a pistol and it can't shoot really as fast. Even though it deals a ton of damage per hit, I would simply like it to shoot more often or just faster. But you will definitely have a blast when playing with this weapon, especially when you prefer a stealthy approach. The Pride can be obtained when you complete the base game ending together with Rogue. On place number 5 we have the insane Prejudice, which is the other weapon which you get from completing the Rogue ending. The Prejudice has a permanent built-in 100% critical damage multiplier. That is like playing with a permanent active berserk boost but being able to shoot with your weapons, which is just absolutely insane. This feature alone is enough to secure the top spot in our ranged weapon list. However, if you equip it with a legendary silencer, you will just make this weapon even better, which allows you to instantly kill even elite enemies on Nightmare with a single burst of this weapon. The Prejudice is a real game changer if you like to play with assault rifles. It can even handle max tag on the highest difficulty. The only real downside of this weapon is that it is a burst weapon, and similar to the Pride, you get it only very late. If you want to have something that is similarly strong and shoots even faster, you should take a look at the Guillotine X-Mod 2. The Guillotine X-Mod 2 is a real secret gem, because there is an insane trick you can use when playing with this weapon. If you equip the iconic immovable force in your arm slot, then you activate the passive perks from Ready Steady, which normally only activates when you're behind cover. The combination of these two items will turn the Guillotine X-Mod into an absolute precise laser gun. If you then add the XC10 Cetus legendary silencer with an additional pyro mod, you will make this weapon as good as a Prejudice, with the only difference is that you can shoot infinite amounts of bullets. This will basically transform it into the best stealth weapon in the game, because no matter how many bullets you need, they will always be critical hits and always eliminate your targets. While the Prejudice is limited to only a 3-bullet burst, this weapon has no limits at all. You can get the Guillotine X-Mod 2 in an abandoned shack in the middle of Dogtown. This is the absolute best weapon for stealth gameplay, and if you combine it with the Pride, you are absolutely unkillable. On place number 3 I've put my favorite assault rifle of all time, which is the Umbra X-Mod 2. This weapon with the correct mods just melts, and it really melts everything, literally. When you equip the Firecracker mod in it with an additional pyro mod, this weapon needs no more than 1 or 2 bullets to obliterate everything. Together with a movable force, a completely filled out SMG and assault tree, this weapon will be super precise, easy to handle, and it has a really fast reload time. When things get ugly, the Umbra X-Mod 2 will solve every problem you have. However, the Umbra X-Mod 2 is also really hard to get, because you have to make sure that you go to the very first airdrop you get in Dogtown, right after when you leave your apartment in Dogtown after saving the president for the first time ever. If you don't immediately go to the first airdrop, the place where the Umbra X-Mod 2 is hidden will be locked off forever. And since you probably have a lot of other stuff in mind, this weapon is very highly missable, so make definitely sure to get it. On place number 2 is a weapon you would probably never expect it on this position, which is the Pozhar X-Mod 2. The Pozhar X-Mod 2 is an automatic shotgun that you can also find in a location in Dogtown, which is only available after 1 AM in the night. This weapon deals super low damage and it's actually pretty trash. However, if you equip the Kneel mod into it, you will get one of the most broken weapons in the game. You don't even have to properly aim anymore, just shoot somewhere at the ground in front of your targets and you will kill them instantly. The super high spread and the big amount of pellets you shoot with that weapon will make sure you hit the limbs of your target anyway. With the Kneel mod you can simply use it as a super fast shotgun and simply shoot everyone's limbs, which will then instantly die from it. And to make this even better, you can also equip a firecracker mod together with the Kneel mod, then you will simply spread this effect with the explosive damage to every enemy nearby, which will make you one-shot even entire groups and even entire rooms full of enemies with just a single shot of this weapon. The Pozhar X mod 2 with Kneel and firecracker is one of my most favorite weapons and I've always equipped it in one of my slots. The total obliteration of the Pozhar is only beaten by the Byakko. Melee is the strongest playstyle and the Byakko is simply the strongest weapon. I have tried so many other katanas, I even equipped the Chimera mods and tried to make them any better, but at the end the Byakko just simply wins every time just because of its super fast attack speed. Attack speed and how often you hit your enemies is all what matters when you play with melee weapons. Melee builds and especially the Byakko are so OP that you can kill even the biggest mech robots on the highest difficulty with a single strike of this weapon. This is what no other weapon can do, except maybe a Netrunner. You can even obliterate and beat entire rounds of max tag within seconds without even starting to sweat. There's nothing that can even scratch or kill you if you are equipped with the correct build and with the Byakko in your hands. Of course there are also other melee weapons which deserve a mention, such as the Scalpel, which is really good when you play with Sandevistan, especially early levels, but nothing actually beats the Byakko in its pure raw damage and attack speed. I hope you really enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, leave me a like and see you next time.